She wasn't in my car when I checked the back seat, but I kept seeing her in the mirror, her eyes getting darker, her smile wider. My name is Kevin Lawn. I used to drive Uber night shifts in Seattle. Mostly quiet roads, drunk college kids, and lonely passengers headed home after midnight shifts. Nothing I hadn't seen 100 times. But on November 9th, 2023, something happened that changed everything. I haven't driven since that night, and I don't think I ever will again. It was a cold Thursday, raining hard. The kind of rain that doesn't fall, it pours, smears the windshield, and muffles the world around you like cotton in your ears. Around 12:30 a.m., I'd just dropped off my last passenger downtown and was heading home when a final ride request came in. No profile photo, just a name. Laura. 5-star rating. Pickup. Ravenna Park Trail entrance. Now, if you're from Seattle, you know Ravenna Park isn't a place you want to be alone at night. It's an old forest tucked into the city. Dense trees. Zero lighting after dusk. A few benches, hiking trails, and a long, nasty history of strange disappearances. But I was tired, low on gas, and honestly, just wanted that one last fare to boost my night earnings. So I accepted. I pulled up to the trailhead. Everything was pitch black, just the hiss of rain, and my headlights slicing through fog and trees. I waited. 1 minute. 2. 5. Just as I was about to cancel, I saw her. She was standing maybe 20 feet into the trees. Her skin, pale, hair, jet black, soaked and clinging to her face. And her dress. It was red. Bright red. Like it didn't belong to the scene around her. Like it was pulled out of another time. Another world. She stepped forward slowly. And I mean slow. Not walking. Almost floating, gliding through the rain like her feet weren't touching the ground. When she reached the door, she didn't knock or speak, just opened it quietly and sat in the back seat. I turned and gave her a tired smile. "Hey, Laura, right?" She didn't answer, just stared at the back of the headrest in front of her. I tried again. "Need me to enter the destination? Or you got it?" Still nothing. Then she whispered, so softly I barely caught it. "Just drive. North." That's it. No address, no street name, just north. I should have cancelled right there. But something about her voice, broken, distant, almost hypnotic, made me freeze. So, I drove. Minutes passed. We went deeper into quiet neighborhoods. Fog so thick it felt like we were underwater. I adjusted the rearview mirror. And that's when I saw it. She was there. But her reflection wasn't moving. She turned her head to look out the window. But in the mirror, she was still staring straight ahead. My heart skipped. I wiped the mirror, told myself it was fog, stress, fatigue, kept driving. A few minutes later, the heater suddenly shut off. My dashboard lights flickered. The inside of the car turned ice cold. I looked down. The temperature controls were fine, but the air was freezing, and I could see my breath. I glanced at her again. She was smiling now, but not with her mouth. With her eyes. Wide, unblinking, locked onto mine in the mirror. Then she spoke again, slowly. "You've driven this road before, haven't you?" I frowned. "What do you mean?" She leaned closer, just enough that I saw her reflection again. Blink out for a split second, and then return. I turned around. She was gone. No door sound, no exit, no movement. But the back seat was completely empty and dry. My heart started racing. I slammed the brakes, pulled over to the side, turned on the cabin light. Nothing. Back seat, spotless. No water. No smell. Not even a wet footprint. I grabbed my phone, and that's when things got worse. The Uber app was frozen. It still showed the ride in progress, but the map had changed. We were no longer in Seattle. It now said, Destination, Memorial Bench 43. That sent a jolt through me. I'd heard of Bench 43. Back in 1998, a woman named Laura Jensen went missing near Ravenna Park, a well-known case around here. She'd gone for an evening walk in a red dress. Witnesses claimed they saw her sitting on bench 43 near the creek. And then she just vanished. All they found was her phone, left in the back seat of a stranger's parked car. The same model as mine. I dropped the phone, threw the car into gear, sped back toward the city, toward lights, toward noise, toward anything alive. But as I drove, I kept catching glimpses of her in the mirror, not sitting, not smiling, just watching. Sometimes she was right behind my headrest. Sometimes she was grinning with her head tilted at an unnatural angle. Every time I turned around, she was gone, but her scent, wet leaves, rainwater, and old perfume, lingered. And then came the final moment. As I hit the main road and merged onto I-5, I checked my rear view one last time. She was inside the mirror, not behind me, inside it. Her hand pressed against the glass, her face inches from mine. She mouthed one word, "Stay." Then the mirror cracked right down the middle. So I swerved, pulled over, almost vomited. The back seat was still empty, but when I got home, I found something that broke me. On the back seat floor was a small, wet photo, blurry, faded. But it was her, Laura, sitting on bench 43. Behind her was me, wearing the same jacket I had on that night. I deleted my Uber app that night, but every now and then, usually around 12:30 a.m., I get a notification. New ride request. Laura, Ravenna Park Trailhead. Sometimes I hear a soft voice whispering from my bathroom mirror. Sometimes I see that red dress standing at the edge of my street, unmoving. So if you ever drive Uber, or even get into the back seat of a stranger's car, check the mirror. But if you see someone in the reflection that isn't really there, drive. And whatever you do, don't look back. He got into my car, but he wasn't looking for a ride. He was trying to stop something from happening. Something I didn't even know was coming. I used to think the weirdest part of driving Uber was the drunk people, the late-night flirts, the occasional stoner who thought I was a food truck. But nothing, and I mean nothing, prepared me for the night I picked up a man who told me he was already dead. My name is Ethan Morrow. I drove nights in New Mexico, mostly in and around Albuquerque. Things were usually calm. Desert highways, clear skies, and silence. The kind of silence that rings in your ears if you sit in it too long. It was a Sunday night in early October. The roads were dead. I had been waiting 40 minutes for a ping when one finally came in. Pickup location. A small stretch just off Route 14. Middle of nowhere. No profile photo. Just the name. Danielle. 5-star rating. It was 1:42 a.m. when I pulled up. There was no building nearby, just desert, a rusted old mailbox, and a single broken streetlight flickering like it was choking on its own light. I turned on my hazards, looked around. No one. I was about to cancel when I heard 3 slow knocks on the rear window. I flinched. There he was. A tall man in a dark brown coat. Late 40s, maybe. Slicked back hair. Pale skin. Not white. Grey. Like his blood had stopped moving. He opened the door, got in silently, and shut it behind him with this unnatural calm. I forced a smile. "You, Daniel?" He nodded once. Didn't blink. didn't speak, just stared forward, his eyes locked on the windshield like he was waiting for something to hit us head on. I checked the app. No destination entered. Just said, drive until I say stop. Weird, but not unheard of. Sometimes people needed to think, or cry, or escape. So I drove. We cruised through empty desert roads. The only sound was the hum of tires and the wind clawing at the windows. After a few minutes, I tried small talk. Rough night? No response. Then, after another stretch of silence, he finally spoke. But his voice, it was soft, fragile, echoey, like it had traveled a long way to reach me. He said, "You need to turn around." I blinked. What? His voice didn't change. "You need to turn around, Ethan. Right now. Or she won't let you leave." That made my skin crawl. "How do you know my name?" I asked, trying not to sound freaked out. He didn't answer, just slowly turned his head and stared directly into my eyes through the rearview mirror. His pupils were cloudy, not blind, more like they were faded, like an old photograph left out in the sun. I slowed the car, pulled off to the side. "Listen, if this is some kind of..." But he cut me off. His voice turned cold. "There's a girl up ahead. She's going to wave you down, beg you to help her. She'll cry. Jake, say she escaped something horrible." He leaned forward now, close enough I could smell the dust and iron on his coat. "Do not let her in. She's not what she looks like." I turned fully toward him. "Who are you?" That's when he smiled, not a creepy smile. A sad one, like someone who already knew what was going to happen and couldn't stop it. "I tried to help her once too." He paused. "She died in my car, but her soul didn't leave." The moment he said that, the cabin lights flickered. My phone shut off. The car's GPS glitched and restarted. When the screen came back, it showed a new destination. Mile marker 113, S. Arrival 1:59 a.m. I hadn't touched it. I looked back. He was gone. Gone. Door didn't open. No sound, no weight shift. Just vanished. I slammed on the brakes and jumped out. Looked in the back. Empty. Bone dry. The seatbelt was still buttoned. The air outside was cold now. Too cold for a New Mexico desert night. Something in me said, drive. Just drive. And so Minutes passed. The GPS wouldn't turn off. It kept rerouting me to mile marker 113. And I knew I should have ignored it. But I didn't. At 1:58 a.m., I approached the mile marker. That's when I saw her, a girl, maybe 19. Ripped dress, blood on her knees, crying, waving both arms frantically in the middle of the road. She looked straight into my eyes and mouthed, "Please, stop." I hit the brakes, but then I remembered his voice. "Do not let her in." She limped toward the window, sobbing, "Please, help me. He's still out there. He's going to find me." Her mascara was running. Her voice cracked. She looked real, terrified, human. But I didn't unlock the doors. I just said, "I already gave someone a ride tonight." Her expression changed, just slightly. She stopped crying. And then, in a voice completely different, cold, layered, like multiple voices speaking at once, she said, "That wasn't a person. That was a warning." Then she smiled and disappeared into thin air. Like mist, I sat there, paralyzed. Then the car shut off. Completely. Dead silence. After maybe 5 minutes, the power came back. The screen showed a new message. "You survived this time. But others won't." Since that night, I've had strange requests on my Uber account. Always after 1 a.m., always from abandoned roads, always from names like Daniel or No Caller. And sometimes When I drive past that stretch of highway, I still see her, standing in the middle of the road, waiting. So, if you ever find yourself driving alone at night, and you see someone who looks terrified, hurt, and harmless, ask yourself one thing. Is it your job to help them? Or is it already too late? Because the moment they sit behind you, you might never be alone again. Marcus had been driving for Uber in Atlanta for over 4 years. Night shifts suited him best. Less traffic, more tips, and just enough eerie silence to keep his nerves sharp. But nothing prepared him for the ride he picked up at 2:47 a.m. on a cold Wednesday morning. The request came from a place called Black Hollow Lane. Marcus didn't remember that road, and the map acted glitchy as if the GPS signal faded whenever he zoomed in. Still, the payout was high. Double the usual fare. He accepted. When he arrived, the street was pitch black. No streetlights. Just a line of gnarled trees and an abandoned church that looked like it hadn't seen a sermon in 50 years. Then, without warning, a woman in all black appeared from behind a tree and slipped into the back seat. "Where to?" Marcus asked, forcing a smile. She didn't respond. Her pale face was half hidden by a hood, but her eyes, what he saw of them in the rearview mirror, were a deep glossy black. Not dark brown, black, like ink. As they drove, the air grew heavy. Marcus tried to make conversation, but she remained silent. He noticed his phone battery drop from 68% to 5% in seconds. His car radio crackled and then died completely. Then he looked in the mirror again. She was gone. The back seat was empty. He slammed the brakes, heart racing. When he looked up again, she was sitting in the front passenger seat, facing him. "You took a wrong turn," she whispered, her voice sounding like 100 voices layered on top of each other. The screen on his dashboard glitched, showing a location that didn't exist. Home, arrival in 6 minutes. Marcus tried to stop the car. The brakes didn't work. The steering wheel locked. He screamed. At 3:13 a.m., his Uber app went offline. His car was found the next morning in a ditch by a construction crew. No Marcus, no passenger, no footprints.